All right, everyone, and welcome back to AI Paper Podcasts. Today, we're going to be diving into a paper that's really fresh off the press. And it asks a question that is both exciting and I think, maybe a little bit unsettling. Can AI actually do AI research?
It is a fascinating question, and this paper kind of takes it head on. MLGIM, a new framework and benchmark for advancing AI research agents by Nathani et al. Basically, they think of it as building a virtual gym, a place where we can train and test these AI agents to see if they can perform tasks that usually are done by human AI researchers.
So, okay, let's unpack this. They've created this framework, this MLGIM, to evaluate how well AI agents can tackle actual research problems. What kind of problems are we talking about here?
Yeah, they've put together a really diverse set of 13 open-ended research tasks, and these aren't simple problems with a single right answer. They require the agents to understand existing code, tweak algorithms, and come up with novel approaches to improve upon baseline models.
So it's not just about applying existing AI, it's about AI actually contributing to the advancement of AI itself.
Whoa!
That's where it gets really interesting. What are some examples of these tasks?
Yeah, so we're talking about everything from data science challenges like predicting house prices to optimizing heuristics for tricky problems like 3SAT. They've even got these AI agents playing strategic games, things like Prisoner's Dilemma and Colonel Blotto, to see how well they can develop game theory strategies.
Wow, it sounds like they've thrown the whole AI research playbook at these agents. And how do they actually evaluate how well these AI agents perform? Because in research, it's not always just about getting the right answer. It's about the process, the exploration, the experimentation.
Absolutely. They use something called performance profiles. And this is basically a way to visualize how consistently different agents perform across all of the tasks. It's not just about who wins each individual challenge. It's about looking at the overall pattern of success. And then to summarize the overall performance, they use a single metric called the Area Under the Performance Profile, or AUP score.
Got it. So who came out on top in this AI Research Showdown?
Drum roll, please. It was OpenAI's O1 preview model. It consistently outperformed the other agents, both in the AUP scores and in the performance profiles.
Interesting. But I imagine running these advanced models can get pretty expensive. Did they address the computational costs involved?
Yeah, they did. And this is where it gets pretty interesting. So while O1 Preview was the top performer, it was also the most expensive to run. However, Gemini 1.5 Pro actually offers a really compelling balance. It achieved 99% of O1 Preview's AUP score, while being significantly cheaper to run.
So efficiency matters, especially in research where resources can be limited. Now, beyond just the numbers, they also analyzed how the agents actually approach the tasks. They looked at things like what kind of errors caused the agents to terminate their runs, how often they completed tasks, and even the specific actions they took within the MLGM environment. It's kind of like peeking into the mind of an AI researcher, right? I'm curious, did they find that these AI agents are working like miniature versions of human researchers? Or are they doing something completely different?
It's actually a bit of both. One of the things they found is that the most common reason for the agents to stop was something called evaluation error, meaning they often struggle to understand how to properly submit their solutions.
Interesting. So even though they can generate solutions, they're not always sure if they're on the right track or how to present their findings. Seems like there's room for improvement there.
Definitely. But when they looked at the actions that the agents were taking, they did find some familiar patterns. They spend a lot of time editing and viewing files, suggesting this iterative approach to developing solutions.
So they're not just randomly trying things out. They're actually going back and refining their code, testing their ideas. That sounds a lot like what human researchers do.
Right, and they were also regularly evaluating their experiments and validating their solutions. So it suggests a systematic approach to problem solving that aligns with the scientific method.
Almost like they're picking up on the principles of scientific research, just by being exposed to the tasks and the environment. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we get too carried away, it's important to remember these AI agents are still operating within a very controlled environment. They're given a specific task, a starting point, clear metrics for success.
Okay, so more like research assistants than like full-fledged scientists at this point.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can even perform at this level is still pretty mind-blowing. What really struck me is this 6-level hierarchy they propose for classifying the abilities of AI research agents.
Yes. That's a key contribution of this paper. It provides a roadmap for understanding the different stages of development that these agents could go through.
Can you walk us through these levels and what each one represents?
Sure. So at level 0, we're talking about AI agents that can basically just reproduce existing research.
Yeah.
Think of it like a really advanced copycat. They can follow instructions and execute code, but they're not generating anything new.
Okay. So not particularly groundbreaking, but still a necessary starting point. What about level 1?
Level 1 is where things start to get interesting. This is where agents can actually improve upon existing baselines. They're not just replicating, they're starting to show signs of genuine problem-solving ability. And that's where the MLGYM-Bench, the specific benchmark introduced in this paper, focuses on.
No, makes sense. So these AI agents are already showing that they can push beyond simply replicating what's already been done. What about the higher levels? Where does it go from there?
Well, level 2 is about reaching state-of-the-art performance. Imagine an AI agent that can not only improve upon existing baselines, but can actually outperform the best human-designed solutions.
No, that would be a game changer.
Absolutely, and it goes even further. Level 3 is about discovering new algorithms or techniques. Level 4 is about defining new research problems. And level 5 is where AI is basically setting its own long-term research agendas.
Wow. That's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about. It really puts into perspective how much potential there is for AI to transform the landscape of research.
It does. And while we're still in the early stages of this journey, the results from this paper show that AI research agents are more than just hype. They're capable of solving real problems and potentially paving the way for breakthroughs we can't even imagine yet.
So if level 1 is about improving baseline models, how far away do you think we are from seeing AI agents operating at level 5, setting their own research agendas? It's a bit unnerving, but also incredibly exciting to think about.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but this research is definitely a significant step in that direction. You know, what's so fascinating is that these agents are already exhibiting behaviors that mirror the scientific process, even at this early stage. They're experimenting, they're evaluating, they're iterating. It's like they're intuitively grasping the fundamentals of research.
And the fact that they're doing all of this within this MLGIM framework, which is designed to simulate a real research environment.
Yeah.
Makes it even more compelling. It's like giving them a sandbox to play in and seeing what they can build.
Exactly. And, as we continue to develop more sophisticated agents and expand the capabilities of MLGIM, who knows what they'll be able to accomplish? Maybe they'll start designing their own experiments or even come up with entirely new research paradigms that we humans haven't even considered.
It's both exhilarating and a little bit intimidating to think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're talking about how these agents were making evaluation errors. What exactly does that mean in this context?
So it means that while they're capable of generating solutions to the tasks, they often struggle to understand the specific requirements for submitting those solutions. They might generate the right code, but they don't format it correctly. Or they might miss a crucial step in the evaluation process.
So it's like they've got the research skills, but they need a bit more guidance on the administrative side of things.
Yes, precisely. It highlights the importance of clear communication and well-defined evaluation metrics. Even when we're dealing with AI agents, they need to understand not just what they're supposed to do, but also how to demonstrate that they've done it correctly.
It makes you wonder, could this tell us something about how these agents are thinking, or at least processing information? Are they getting lost in the details?
Yeah.
Missing the bigger picture of what constitutes a successful research submission?
That's a great question, and it's something that future research could delve into more deeply. It could be that they're focusing too narrowly on the code itself, without fully grasping the context or the intended outcome.
It's almost as if they need a bit more research intuition to complement their technical abilities. The kind of intuition that human researchers develop through years of experience and mentorship.
Absolutely, and that's one of the exciting challenges in this field. How do we imbue these AI agents with that kind of intuition, that ability to see the forest for the trees, so to speak? It might involve incorporating more real-world research scenarios into their training, or perhaps developing new methods for teaching them about the nuances of scientific communication and evaluation.
Fascinating. It's fascinating to think about how we can bridge the gap between technical proficiency and research intuition in these AI agents. But speaking of technical proficiency, you mentioned earlier that these agents were spending a lot of time editing and viewing files, suggesting an iterative approach to developing solutions. Did they observe any other interesting patterns in the agent's behavior?
Yeah, they did. One particularly intriguing observation was the relative lack of search commands used by the agents. They primarily relied on editing and viewing existing files, which suggests that their search strategies could be improved for greater efficiency.
So they're not quite as adept at doing literature reviews as a seasoned human researcher.
Not yet, but that's an area where we could see significant advancements in the future. Imagine an AI agent that can effortlessly scour through vast databases of research papers, identify the most relevant information, and even synthesize new insights from existing knowledge.
That would be incredible. It would be like having a research assistant who can instantly access and process the entire body of scientific literature. But for now, it seems like these agents are more focused on the hands-on aspects of research, tweaking code, running experiments, analyzing results.
Right, and even in those areas, there's still room for improvement. For example, while they were able to evaluate their experiments and validate their solutions, there's potential for them to become more strategic and efficient in their experimentation process.
So it's not just about being able to do the task, it's about doing them in a way that maximizes learning and progress. It's like the difference between a novice researcher who's just trying things out and an expert who has a clear plan and knows how to interpret the results.
Precisely, and that's where the real power of AI research agents lies, in their ability to not just automate tasks, but to learn and adapt, constantly improving their methods and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's almost like they're embodying the spirit of scientific inquiry itself, this drive to explore, experiment, and discover.
Absolutely. And as they continue to evolve, they might even teach us a thing or two about how to do research more effectively.
Now, we talked about OpenAI's O1 preview model taking the lead in performance, but it comes with a hefty price tag. You mentioned that Gemini 1.5 Pro achieved almost the same level of performance at a fraction of the cost. This seems like a really important point, especially when we're talking about the future of AI research.
It is, because if only the well-funded labs can afford to run these top-performing models, it could create a research arms race that leaves many behind.
And that could stifle innovation and limit the diversity of perspectives in the field, which is crucial for any scientific endeavor.
Exactly. That's why the fact that Gemini 1.5 Pro can achieve such high performance at a more accessible cost is so encouraging. It means that more researchers, even those without massive computational resources, can participate in this exciting frontier of AI research.
It democratizes access to these powerful tools, which could lead to a much richer and more vibrant research landscape. Now, before we wrap up this segment, I want to touch on one more point that really struck me in the paper. The author's emphasis on the importance of transparency and open source collaboration in the development of AI research agents.
That's a critical point, and it speaks to the broader ethical considerations surrounding the advancement of AI.
Because as these AI agents become more sophisticated and capable, we need to ensure that they're developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. Transparency and open collaboration are essential for fostering trust, promoting ethical development, and ensuring that these powerful tools are used for the benefit of humanity. By making the research, the code, and the findings accessible to the wider community, we can collectively work towards building a future where AI research agents are a force for good.
It's a reminder that the future of AI is not something that will be decided in isolation by a handful of tech companies or research labs. It's a collective responsibility that demands a diverse range of perspectives and voices.
Exactly. It's a conversation we all need to be a part of.
So what does this all mean? We've got these AI agents training in a virtual gym, tackling research problems, showing signs of scientific thinking. Where does this all lead?
I think this research provides a glimpse into a future where AI and human researchers could work hand in hand, pushing the boundaries of knowledge and tackling challenges that we could only dream of solving alone. Imagine a world where AI agents can assist researchers in designing groundbreaking experiments, analyzing complex data sets, and even formulating new scientific theories.
It's a future filled with both incredible potential and some very real concerns. And as we move forward, we need to be mindful of both. We need to embrace the possibilities while also proactively addressing the ethical challenges and ensuring that the development of AI research agents is guided by principles of transparency, accountability, and safety.
I couldn't agree more. It's a balancing act for sure, but it's one that we need to get right. The stakes are simply too high.
Well said. Now, before we move on to the final segment, I want to take a moment to recap the key takeaways from what we've discussed so far. First, we've seen that AI research agents are no longer just a futuristic concept. They're here, and they're capable of performing real research tasks, even surpassing human performance in some cases.
And what's particularly remarkable is that they're not just mindlessly following instructions or copying existing solutions. They're exhibiting signs of genuine problem-solving ability, learning, adapting, and even demonstrating behaviors that align with the scientific method.
Second, we've seen that while there are some impressive advancements being made, there are still challenges to overcome. These agents still struggle with certain aspects of research, like understanding evaluation criteria and effectively searching for relevant information.
But these challenges also represent exciting opportunities for future research and development. As we continue to refine these agents' capabilities, who knows what they'll be able to accomplish?
And finally, we've touched on the ethical considerations surrounding the development of AI research agents, the need for transparency, open collaboration, and a focus on ensuring that these powerful tools are used responsibly.
Because ultimately, the future of AI research is not just about technological advancement. It's about shaping a future where AI serves humanity and helps us create a better world.
Well said. So with those key takeaways in mind, let's move on to our final segment where we'll delve into some of the broader implications of this research and explore what it means for the future of AI and the future of science itself. Okay, so we've talked about the capabilities of these AI research agents and the challenges they still face, but what does this all mean for the future of AI and the future of science itself?
Yeah, that's a question that sparks a lot of different thoughts, a lot of potential scenarios. On one hand, you have this just incredible potential for accelerating scientific progress. Think about critical areas like, healthcare, climate science, even AI safety itself. These agents could help us analyze vast amounts of data, design experiments, and even generate new hypotheses at a speed that's just simply not possible for humans.
Yeah, it's like having an army of tireless research assistants, each capable of processing information and running simulations 24/7. It could revolutionize the pace of discovery.
Exactly. But of course, with any powerful new technology, there are potential downsides, risks to consider as well. And I think one of the biggest concerns is this potential for job displacement. If AI agents become adept at performing tasks that are currently done by human researchers, what happens to those researchers?
It's a valid concern and one that we need to address proactively. We need to think about how we can adapt our education systems and training programs to prepare people for a future where AI plays an increasingly prominent role in research.
Absolutely. And it's not just about job displacement. It's also about ensuring that these AI agents are aligned with human values and goals. How do we guarantee that the research agendas they pursue, the discoveries they make, are ultimately beneficial to humanity?
That's where the importance of ethical considerations and responsible development comes in. We can't just focus on building smarter AI. We need to build AI that's aligned with our values. And that serves a purpose that benefits society as a whole.
I completely agree. And that requires a collaborative effort from researchers, policymakers, and society at large. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and risks of AI research agents. And we need to develop guidelines and frameworks for their responsible development and deployment.
Yeah, it's a conversation that's already happening, but it needs to be amplified and broadened. We need to involve diverse perspectives, from ethicists to social scientists to everyday citizens, to ensure that the future of AI is shaped in a way that benefits everyone.
Well said. And I think one of the most important things we can do is to foster this culture of transparency and open communication around AI research. By making the code, the data, the findings accessible to a wider audience, we can increase understanding, encourage scrutiny, and build trust in these emerging technologies.
Transparency is key. And it's not just about preventing potential harms, it's also about maximizing the potential benefits of AI research agents. By sharing knowledge and collaborating openly, we can accelerate progress and ensure that these tools are used to address the most pressing challenges facing humanity.
Exactly. It's about working together to build a future where AI and human ingenuity combine, to create a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous world for everyone.
That's a vision worth striving for. And this research, with its exploration of AI research agents and their capabilities, provides a glimpse into what that future might hold. It's a future that's both exciting and daunting, full of possibilities and uncertainties. But it's a future that we're shaping right now. With every line of code we write, every experiment we design, every conversation we have about the role of AI in our world.
This is a pivotal moment in the evolution of AI. And the choices we make today will have far-reaching consequences. It's up to all of us to ensure that those consequences are positive and that we build a future where AI empowers humanity rather than diminishes it.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. Remember, the future of AI research is not predetermined. It's being written right now. And we all have a role to play in shaping that future.
Absolutely. Stay curious, stay engaged, and stay informed. Because the future is coming, and it's going to be amazing.
And that's a wrap for today's deep dive into the world of AI research agents. Thanks for joining us. We hope you found it insightful, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little bit mind-blowing.
Until next time, Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. We'll see you in the next episode.